The final question is for, I think that with the social network movie and what happened with Facebook, there are obviously a ton of people really young starting companies. They have no context around industries or work experience and building things and, that whole culture. What would you say to somebody who's young who wants to go build an enterprise facing or enterprise technology company? What kind of advice would you give them? Do you go to a big company? Do you go get a graduate degree? How do you think about plotting out a different kind of path there?
So it's a difficult question to precisely answer because someone who is really bad at math is unlikely to transform themselves into a crackerjack coder, and someone who is a phenomenal amateur coder whiling away in the cornfields of Iowa wondering how to create a big enterprise company may not be able to transform themselves into a crackerjack UX person. So, the first thing I would say is if these young people are out of Silicon Valley or out of Austin or New York or some other emerging technology hub, they are profoundly disadvantaged. There's this hackneyed old phrase, the rich get richer, but network effects are real. I know you analyze those in your past career for a variety of industries, and that's very much true in terms of the endlessly accreting capability for innovation and company building that accrues to historically innovative regions like Silicon Valley and to a lesser extent now, unfortunately, Route 128, New York, Austin, Research Triangle Park. And it's primarily in the US. I mean, I don't see 1,000 foundational patents coming out of Berlin companies, unfortunately. Interestingly enough, I think Cambridge and Oxford are actually more innovative areas in Europe than a lot of other places. So whether you're in Europe or whether you're in the US, get to one of those places and develop a network, a personal network, because you can't magically become a brilliant UX person, even if you're a great coder. You can understand it, you can comprehend it, you can make a judgment on it, like the old Supreme Court phrase about pornography. I can't define it or I can't tell you what it is, but I know it when I see it. But to hire those people, to build a company with them, to learn from them, you have to be physically adjacent to them. How would you do that? You can you can get a job at a big company. You can take an unpaid internship. You can try to get into a world-class school like Stanford or Berkeley or MIT, or you can gun for one that's adjacent to it and try to develop your personal network while you're in the region. What I tell everybody is if you want to sell stuff to the enterprise, it's good to be technical. You want to sell something to a CIO? You should have run a network. You should have racked and stacked servers. You should have experienced a disk failure. You should have your own AWS key. And even if you have a hard time learning how to code, you should try to force yourself to understand what the software development process is like, because the issues of software creation, software use, software maintenance, software reliability, software security haunt the enterprise every day. And if you have no visceral understanding of them, you can't be really sympathetic to what your customers want or sympathetic to the sales process that your customers are going to put you through. I would say if you're young, you also have a unique opportunity to go work in the enterprise arena that you want to target. So if you think you have the world's greatest idea for, oil and gas, go, and you have a college degree, go apply to be a manager of 5 gas stations in a lonely region in South Carolina and learn about what those people have to deal with on a daily basis. And you know what? Maybe spend 2 or 3 years, work your way up the retail chain, or go get a job in the pipeline group at Shell. Really understanding your customer, that deep sympathy or empathy for what their needs are is invaluable, which is why, to my earlier point, when we look at these deep vertical market big data or deep compute companies, we're always very enamored of people who have lived through the wars in the industry that they want to help. Great.
Awesome.
Really a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise.
Thanks for
That was
taking the
good.
time.
Yeah, thank you. That was awesome.